Howdy banger pals, Blaine Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews Bangers Weekly Heavy Metal Review Show. I'm here. I also am 1 week away from the Catanathon. If you don't know, every year me and a group of pals play Settlers of Catan for hours upon hours upon hours. The more donations we roll in, the longer we play. It goes over 24 hours. Every year we're raising like $10,000 at least for the Canadian Cancer Society, and you can make us do wacky things. You can punish me, so I hope you'll come out. There'll be a link down below next Friday going into next Saturday, because we play for a very long time. So come help deprive me of sleep and torment my body. But without further ado, hey, yay, I'm talking about a band I'm really excited about. Let's go. Let's listen. Huzzah! I'm reviewing the new Ripped to Shreds. It's called Jubian. It's out today, October 14th on Relapse Records. Yay! Bio, let's just get this out of the way quick so I can talk about the music. Ripped to Shreds started in California in 2016 as a one-man project by Andrew "DaGod" Lee, and 2 albums later, and our boy is now signed to Relapse Records, and he's opened things up a bit. He's got a full band, so everybody say hi to Brian, Ryan, and Mike. Hi, guys. From parents' basement all the way up to the big leagues. Can he hack it? Is he gonna choke? Let's find out what the big record sounds like. If you haven't heard Ripped to Shreds before, shame on you, but you probably won't be surprised to find out it's old school death metal, as is the fashion at the time, being the time now, and also I guess the time in the past when it was just death metal. Anyways, there's plenty of knuckle dragging dummy stuff going on here. Simple catchy riffs, drum based pummelings, and the perfect amount of oogs that both open the record and are sprinkled liberally throughout, some with some great reverb on them. So if you're just looking for some caveman stuff to mosh to, there's a lot of that going on here. And you will get to mosh to that because now he's got a band and he's playing live. Woohoo, yay! If you want a quick Coles Notes of kind of what Ripped to Shreds is all about, I don't even have to do my job here and explain that to you in some words. I can just play you the album closer because it's 49 seconds and sums things up pretty good. So have a listen. That's not to say this is just a throwback record, though. Andrew is a man of many projects. He has an active hentai grind, shred, and power metal project going on, as well as his various gun for hire work. And while previously that stuff was all kept a little bit more separate, it seems like now the kind of idea is to take those outside experiences and see if they can be worked into the Ripped to Shreds framework. There is moments where he clicks into a melodeath guitar tone and plays a little bit more of a melodeath segment before going back into an old school death metal beatdown. But what really perked my ears up is in the 10-minute track in the middle, as the song progresses, started to get a little tingle going on there, and I went, Hooded Menace, is that you? I'll let you decide, but right here I feel like he's using some straight up Lassa guitar tone, and being that it's my favorite band, I'm more than happy to have a little of that tossed in here. So So in the review, I've mentioned the 10-minute middle track and the 49-second closer. And when I first saw the track listings for this, I thought, oh no, there's going to be some real faffing about going on in here. But thankfully, I'm happy to report this is just wall-to-wall tunage. No outros, no intros, no atmospherics that just sounds like you left a recorder on outside at night. It's just music, and I'm so happy about that because I put the album on repeat when I'm reviewing albums, and the amount of times I just got lost, not realizing the album had restarted until one of my favorite moments cropped up, and the ability to just kind of, sit there, zone out, get into a record, get kind of, floaty, not think about too much, and just really soak it in and not have anything disrupt that is the way I prefer my records, and I'm happy that's happening here. Yes. And I'm also happy that I got to review this, partly because a bunch of you voted for it, because over on our Patreon campaign every month we put up a poll for what's coming out, and we take your votes on it, and we try and cover the stuff that you vote for as much as we can. Sometimes there's conflicts and all this, but I'm happy that this record got voted on. I'm happy y'all are digging this, and clearly I'm digging it too. But back to the review. So I don't know if you noticed from the music video, but you probably did, that not only is Andrew Lee still playing one of those hideous headless guitars, he's got the whole band doing it. How did you find two other people willing to use those disgusting things? Are you forcing them? Is everybody okay with this arrangement? God, I hate headless guitars. Boy, Blaine, that seems like a weirdly specific nitpick that doesn't have much to do with the album, and that's because all I really have in terms of criticism is weirdly specific nitpicks that don't impact it that much. The drums sound okay, especially if you're listening on like more expensive equipment. But the instant we get down to something like a pair of earbuds, I find the drums to be a little painful, a little sharp, a little taut. So that's not amazing, and I know some of you are going to say, don't listen to music on your phone on earbuds. That's not how it's meant to be played. It should sound good on everything. Piss off. Luckily, what's being played on the drums I really like. It goes from a brutal death metal assault to a fun, punky vibe and back. It's great to have that range in a drummer, and it's great to have that range on a record. Makes for a really great record. So at least if I'm being hurt, it's by something I enjoy. There's also the intro to Split Apart by Five Chariots. It's a kind of slammy, brutal death thing with some of those very low guttural pig squeals, and I really don't like that style. It could be a nod to the very strong and great brutal death metal scene in Asia, because I know Andrew Lee's really big on Asian representation in metal. So that's cool if that's what that's there for, but I still don't like brutal death metal, so I don't like it. How it sounds, I can't change that. Luckily it lasts 15 seconds, and that's the only time it appears on the record, so minor nitpick. I'm really impressed by how since day one Andrew Lee has always managed to present such a complete package with the band, whether it's great album artwork, fantastic merch to go with it, an established sound that still evolves. It's really what elevates a band from a solid death metal act to, signed by Relapse for your third album. And that extends to, yes, the mission statement, the kind of idea behind the band. A big part of the themes around everything is, Asian representation in metal. It's important to Andrew Lee, and spotlighting global scenes is something that's really important to us here at Banger. I mean, we make content like that all the time, and Asia's definitely somewhere that's underrepresented in the metal community, because holy hell, that's a lot of countries and a lot of people making a lot of cool stuff. So I'm obviously big on that mission statement, and it makes me like the record more as both a politically correct soy boy and a white person who problematically fetishizes Asian culture. Either way, I'm really excited to wear the Jubian shirt with the fucking Jubian characters written on the back, black on red, just stance up on people like Akuma. Out with a bang! So this was a big record for Ripped to Shreds, both in that it is a major label debut, and it's also the first record written with the intention that these songs are going to be played live, and they need to be able to be played live. And all I can really say is it's a smash success. I know this review was a little light, but it's because there's not a lot of nitty gritty to get into. I'm just really stoked on this record. Not only did it kind of live up to expectations set by the previous record, I think both credit to Andrew Lee and the whole band. There was obviously a need to step up here because of the increased scope, and I think there was a much larger step taken between this album than between previous releases, with an attempt to kind of define a new sound, carve out a new niche, incorporate more unique things into what's going on here, and yeah, almost all of it succeeds. Really, I'm super biased because I love Andrew, so I'm stoked to hear in the comments what y'all thought about this record, but seems pretty hard to get down on this thing. I don't know, like, what would be bad? I couldn't really find anything, so that leads me to believe it's a pretty easy 4.5 out of 5 skulls with a Kuma hair on them. Now it's on to shoutouts, and because October is so stacked, I have 3 death metal records for you in a similar spirit, I guess. You've got Languish's Feeding the Flames of Annihilation on Prosthetic Records. That came out last week, and if you want some grindcore in your death metal, I mean, you're in a Rip to Shreds review, I assume you like that a little bit, then Languish is a good spot to land. And if you're looking for another spot to land in that similar vibe, Vacuous's Dreams of Dysphoria on the record label ye love to hear me try and pronounce me, Saco un Ojo. That comes out today as well. So yeah, if you want some grindcore mixed into your death metal, a little bit of blackened vibes, you know, just death metal primarily, but with a lot of stuff thrown in the mix, those 2 records are absolute hit. And if you want something a little outside of what I normally recommend, there's a bit of mellow death on this record. So what about a full-on progressive mellow death record with like keys and choruses and stuff? I don't know. It's outside of my comfort zone, but I found myself really enjoying Freedom of Fear's Carpathia on EVP recordings. That comes out next week. So yeah, I know that when I talk about death metal, it's usually of a specific vein. So whenever I find something that falls outside of that, I try and offer it up on a plate for you. For those of you that kind of want a little bit more outside the realm of just so yeah, let me know in the comments any other great death metal come out recently that you're vibing with. Did you like the new album? Did you not like the new album? I want to know. I'm really curious to see how everybody reacts to this one, because to me, it seems like a pretty quality big release. So I'm excited to see this get out into the world. Let me know. Get you down there, like, comment, subscribe, head on over to the Patreon, toss us a couple bucks, you know, the whole rigmarole.